Every single financial statement your business will ever produce start in one place. Not your bank app, not your tech software, one place. It's called Journal Ledger. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly what it is, the different types you will come across, and how to build one by yourself, step by step. I am Hasnain, a certified professional accountant, and this is Debit Decoded. Let's get into it. What is a journal ledger? Let's start simple. A journal ledger is the master record of every single transaction your business makes. Your sales, your expenses, your loans, every cent that moves in or out, it all lands here. Think of it like this: your business is a story, and the journal ledger is the full, uncut version of that story. Nothing gets left out. Now, you might be thinking, isn't that same as a journal? Good question. Let's clear that up. A journal is a place where your transaction is first recorded. It's a rough draft. The general ledger is where your transaction gets sorted and organized by its account. It's a clean copy. So the flow look like this. A transaction happened, you record in the journal and post to the journal ledger. Why this matter for you as a business owner? Every single report you rely on, your balance sheet, your income statement, your equity statement, your cash flow statements, all of it is built from what's sitting inside your journal ledger. If your journal is wrong, everything downstream is wrong. Types of ledger and journal ledger structures. No, let's talk about types because when people say ledger, they don't always mean the same thing. There are two main categories: the journal ledger and a subsidiary ledger. A subsidiary ledger gives you detail behind one account. Say you sell to 50 different customers on credit. The journal ledger gives you one number, total account receivables, and the subsidiary ledger gives you detail behind each account, customer by customer. So, the journal ledger is the summary, and the subsidiary ledger is zoomed in version. The inside the journal ledger itself, every account falls into one of these five categories. Assets, that includes your current assets, your non-current assets, your tangible assets, your non-tangible assets, your operating assets, your non-operating assets, and your financial assets. Liabilities, that includes your current liabilities, your non-current liabilities, and your contingent liabilities. Expenses, that includes your operating expenses, your non-operating expenses, and your cost of goods sold, also your depreciation expenses. Revenue, that includes your sales revenue, your service revenue, and other revenue. Equity, that includes your owner's equity, your shareholders equity, and your retained earnings. No, you every transaction you will record will touches at least two of these five categories. That's the whole idea behind double entry accounting. Now, before you can post anything to the journal ledger, you need one more thing: a chart of accounts. You can see that on your screen. A chart of account is the table of content for your ledger. That's a full list of every account your business will ever use, each one with its own number. Once that list exists, you are ready to build your journal ledger. So let's do that right now. Step by step posting journal entries to the general ledger. Let's bring back our example company, Bright Ideas Limited. Bright Ideas Limited sells LED lights to small retailers. Over the next few minutes, we are going to use real journal entries and post them to the general ledger together. So, there are five transactions. Let's post every single one. Transaction number one. Owners invest $10,000 cash into the business. Two accounts are affected here. Cash increases because the business receives money, and owner's equity increases because the owner has invested in the business. So, cash gets a debit and owner's equity gets a credit. And remember this simple rule. Assets increases with debits while equity increases with credit. You will see this rule come up again and again. Transaction number 2. Business purchases $3,000 inventory on credit. Inventory increases, so we debit inventory. But because the business has not paid yet, it now owes the supplier. That increases accounts payable, so we credit accounts payable. Assets increases with debits, liabilities increases with credits. Simple enough. Transaction number 3. Business makes a cash sale of $2,500. Transaction 3. Cash increases, so we debit cash. And because the business has earned revenue, sales revenue increases, and revenue increases with the credit. This is one worth remembering because it's a common stumbling block for beginners. Transaction number 4. Business pays $800 of rent in cash. Cash is going down, so cash gets a credit. At the same time, rent expense increases, so we debit rent expense. And here's another rule to remember. Expenses increase with debits. Finally, transaction 5. Transaction number 5. Business collects $1,200 from a customer on credit. Cash increases, so we debit cash. Accounts receivable decreases, so we credit account receivable. And notice something important here. We are not recording new revenue. That's the revenue we already recorded when the original sale happened. This transaction simply converts the amount owed by the customer into cash. Once all five transactions have been posted, we calculate the running balance of every account and look at the cash account. We start with $10,000 and the cash sales and collection, then subtract the rent payment. That leaves us with the cash balance of $12,900. Every other account now has its own ending balance as well. And this is the real power of the journal legend. It's not just a record of transaction. It gives you a running balance for every account updated as each transaction is posted. And those final accounts balance become the building blocks for the trial balance and eventually your financial statements. If you have not watched our trial balance video yet, I will link it on the end screen. Why this matter for your business? So, why should a small business owner actually care about any of this? Three reasons. Number one, your journal ledger is your source of truth. When your bank accounts and your books do not match, this is where you go and find out why. Number two, it protects you. A clean ledger makes much harder for errors or frauds to skip through unnoticed. Number three, it saves your money. A messy ledger means more hours of work for your accountant or bookkeeper. More hours of work means a bigger bill. The most common mistake I see new business owner make posting to the wrong account or skipping chart of accounts altogether or dumping everything into one category. Don't do this. 5 minutes of organizing your chart of accounts will save your hours later. Let's recap. The journal ledger is the master record of every single transaction your business makes. It is built from five account categories: assets, liabilities, equity, expenses, and revenue. It works alongside with subsidiary ledger. Subsidiary ledger gives you detail behind one specific account at one time. We use chart of accounts to organize our work. And now you have seen how to build one from scratch, transaction by transaction, with Bright Ideas Limited. And if you want to know what happens when these number leaves journal ledger, go and watch my trial balance video right after this. I will link that video in my comment section. I am Hasnain, this is Debit Decoded, and I will see you in the next video.